Hey, I'm Dan.
And I'm Will.
Welcome to Snuff the Torch. This is our episode 5 safety rankings. We're telling you who we think is safe for this week, who's in danger and might be on their way out. Last week, both Will and I had Varner at the bottom of our list. So we both get 1 point. We're playing a game where if you have the eliminated person on the bottom three of your list, then you get a point. We were both very successful. Actually, I think we were going to double it
Yeah, if it's
if
on
you.
the yeah, if the person's at the very bottom, you get 2 points instead of one. But if they're at the first top two of the bottom three, then you just get 1 point.
Right, so it's two
So
to
I
two
got
right now. I'll be tallying the scores as the week goes on. Let's just hop straight into our week 5 list. You want to go first?
sure. What was that? Sure, not sure. Okay. Okay, so for number one, I have Jeremy from Bion. He didn't. I have tallied like how many spots a person's moved up or down on my list, and Jeremy was first place on my last week's list. And I think the same reasons. The reasons are the same for why he is number one. Just the strongest competitor on his tribe. His social game is pretty strong. He seems to be close with a couple of people, and yeah, I mean we've seen no signs that he could be going out soon.
Mm-hmm. Number one on my list, I have Joe for the second week in a row. And I have Joe in front of Wentworth and Jeremy because I have a harder time seeing him getting voted off than I do. I find it easier to see Wentworth or Jeremy getting voted off with their idol, opposed to Joe getting voted off. That's how confident I am that Joe isn't going home this week. He will go home soon, but this week is not his week for sure. It's that 3 week. It's that three-tribe format that really favors the strong people, and Joe's the strongest person on every single island. There's no reason for him to get knocked out this early.
Yeah, man. So for my number two, I have the sexy man bun Joe. For the second week in a row, same reasons as you. I mean, he will definitely start to slide down my list once we get closer to the merge, but for
Yep.
now he's gonna stay at the top. Like next week, I mean, I could definitely see him moving down a couple of spots just because we know the merge happens at 13 people and we're at 16 right now. So yeah, I think Joe's days are definitely numbered unless he can find a massive alliance that will not break for whatever reason, or he finds an idol directly when the merge happens. So yeah,
I agree. Yeah, probably in 2 weeks, Joe is going to be in the middle of my list, and then in 4 weeks, he'll probably be the last person on my list. He'll just gradually
same.
slide down unless, like some miracle happens for him. I do not think that Joe can win. For everyone out there who does not know that, I don't see that happening whatsoever. If there was a list of people I think could win this season, I would put Joe on the bottom of that list. But he's on the
Yeah,
top of my list for this.
among a couple of other people like Abby Maria.
Yeah, and Maria, uh, maybe Keith. Keith could win with the possibly, but and even Wu can win now. Like, well, I still don't think he can win, but like heading into the season, I would tell people that he has a lot less of an opportunity to win than I believe that now, because we've actually seen the episode where he was fighting against people. Like he was actually talking and like kind of doing strategic things. So, that's why I have Wu where I have him this week, and you'll find out where I put him later on this episode. Okay, number two, I have Kelly Wentworth. I have her moved up 2 slots this week. Last week I had her at number 4. I just can't. Even if Kelly Wentworth is targeted this week, I can't see her going home with an idol. She's too smart not to play her idol, and she's not going home. People with an idol, the people with the idol right now are too smart not to play it, so they're high on my list.
Yeah. Okay, so my number three is Tasha. So right now my top three is the exact same for last week, same as this week. And Tasha yet again rallied the troops, and yeah, she's in the top of her tribe and core. She's probably at least in the top 2 of the strongest people on her tribe. She's definitely the strongest woman when you compare to Abby Maria. But yeah, her social game is very solid. Oh, by the way, did you see that video or whatever where Jeff Varn was talking about how Tasha's like evil or whatever, and that part hasn't been shown or whatever?
Yeah, yeah. You commented on my post that I was talking about it.
Oh yeah. Oh. In other news, so yeah,
Yeah.
Tasha is like pretty high up there. I think for both of us, we think that she is definitely, safe probably for this next episode. But yeah.
Yep. Number 3, I have Jeremy, another guy with an idol. Wentworth and Jeremy, can't see them going home. I can see Jeremy being a little less cautious with his idol than Wentworth, because Wentworth got out a lot earlier than Jeremy did, so I think she's a little more nervous about using her idol and the proper time to use it. Jeremy, I can see him thinking that he's in control, getting to tribal, and like not bringing his idol at all and getting voted off. It's definitely up in the realm of possibility, so that's why I have him a little lower than Kelly Wentworth, but he's still at the same spot that I had him last week. I still think he's in the power position in his tribe, Bayonne.
Yeah. So my number 4 is Kelly Wentworth. She's up 2 spots from last week. Honestly, I don't even know why she moved up 2 spots. Oh yeah. I guess because like a couple of people moved down, so she moved up some. I don't even know how it works, but yeah, people with idols, simply put, are 90% of the time probably going to be safe at tribal. For one, there's a 1 in 3 chance their tribe goes to tribal, and number 2, they have an idol. So yeah, I mean the 2 people in my top 4 have idols. I think Jeremy is more safe than Kelly if they didn't have idols, I guess, because Jeremy's just more physically strong. But in a couple of weeks, if Jeremy didn't have an idol, he could be going home. But yeah, Kelly, number 4 on my list. Second person for Takeo, that's in the top 4, and Takeo is probably the strongest tribe. So yeah.
Why do you have Wentworth behind Jeremy? Well, I'm just curious.
Oh, I just think Jeremy's social game is better from what we've seen, like on the edits so far. Jeremy's had a lot of focus, and when someone gets a lot of focus, usually they're going to either be way up at the top or way down at the bottom. So
that's true.
Yeah, and it seems like he's close with Kimmy Kappenberg some. He's close with Steven some and Spencer. So I mean, he looks to be covered on most sides.
Mm-hmm.
If someone tried to get rid of him, it looked like he'd probably end up being safe. Plus, he has an idol, so yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, though, the only reason why I put Wentworth in front of Jeremy is because I think she's a little more aware than he is, but that's just my opinion. I think she's a little more cautious with her gameplay. Okay. Number 4, my person got raised 1 spot this week. That's Tasha. And that's only because I dropped someone else who didn't come up yet because I just didn't like where I had him last week. No real reason. I just switched some things around.
Wait, that was Keith. That was up that high, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know, like, I had Keith up that high last time because I felt like there was no reason to get rid of him. But because I didn't see too much of him yet, I can't make those kind of decisions. I like to put invisible people in the middle, so I put Keith a little lower this time. But Tasha, she could definitely go home this week. It's not, impossible to predict her going home. She is in a tribe of 4. It's a 25% chance she can go home. Anything can happen in Survivor, But she is the least likely person to go home this week.
From her tribe.
From her tribe.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 5 is Savage. He's moved down 1 spot from last week. Last week I had Tasha and Savage very high up just simply because of the hype of them just completely taking over their tribe and going from, 4-2 deficit to end up taking out one of the four that was on the other tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was a lot of hype behind that. I think Savage is still fairly safe just because I do not think Tasha and Savage is split up. And also, I think it is very unlikely that Savage will go home because we know there's probably going to be, we've heard news that there's going to be another switch when there are 14 people left. And if Encore go to Tribal in this next episode, that put them at 3 people. Okay, it'd be very, very unlikely that CBS would keep a 3-person tribe when there would be 15 people left. I mean, the switch would probably happen an episode sooner if they went to Tribal this week. So part of me is like banking on the fact that Encore will not go to Tribal. If I felt that there was a higher chance, then Savage would probably be lower on the list, but I don't know.
I would love to see Encore go to Tribal now because you have like so many of them high on your list, not too high, but like higher than they should be. And it is very possible for there to be a 2-person tribe. It's happened before, and then having a switch.
That was on season 10 Survivor Paul. That was stupid on CBS's part.
And like I said before to you, Philippines too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it did start out with 6 people in the first place that season, so I guess maybe it was a little bit different. But like in Palau, Oolong lost like 7 straight immunity challenges. They should have switched to tribes when Oolong lost like 4 in a row.
Okay. All I'm saying though is Philippines. What is that like? Season 24, 23, I forget.
25. Season
25. You're right. Season 25.
The season of Malcolm Freeberg. Frederberg, whatever his last name is.
And Denise.
She was okay.
She won though. So
she was okay. She just
anyway,
won. She didn't make
that tribe got decimated from 6 to 2, and wait, did it? I'm pretty sure it did, right?
Yeah, from 6 to 2.
Okay, yeah. So it's not impossible for there to be a tribe of 2.
It's just very unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. Okay. Number 5. Now I have Keith. I have Keith now. I just moved him. I moved him 3 spots down just for safety because I didn't want to look like an idiot if I had him at my number 2 spot again. He got eliminated all of a sudden, randomly. But again, I can't see it happening. Keith, he might not be on the radar of in terms of confessionals, but he's not the most strategic player, so there's no reason to get rid of him for that. He holds his own during challenges, and he's pretty easy to take along with you, as a vote. He's an easy vote. So why get rid of Keith? Doesn't make any sense to me if it happened this episode. Your turn.
Yeah. Oh, so my number 6 is Chaos Cass.
Yeah.
Her awesome skills with making a little birthday present for Kelly Wentworth. Cha-ching. It got her some likes around camp, I guess. And yeah, I knew that she was, for now that she was probably safe, but that just reinforced the fact that she's probably changed her game some, and she's not pissing everyone off 24/7, which is a good thing for her, which increases the chances that she will not be voted out. So yeah, she's moved up 2 spots on my list. Woo!
Yeah, she is getting such a good edit this season compared to Cagayan. It's unbelievable. Like, literally every single confessional she has is about how she's giving someone a birthday present. It's about how she loves everyone. Like,
dude, let's be honest. Her season in Cagayan, she was pure evil. There was no spots of sunshine at all for Cass in Cagayan.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like a completely different edit of Cass.
I wouldn't say edit. I mean, like, the legit 100%. I don't think there's, like, any positive points for her in Cagayan.
Well, I don't know about that. Come on. You know what I mean? I don't think... You really think that she changed as a person? I'm pretty sure she's the same person. It's just that she's acting a little more. And even for the confessionals, though, I'm sure she had confessionals where she was, like, saying, like, that person is an idiot and that person sucks or something like that. They chose to give us these confessionals, though, of her being nice to people and giving them gifts and stuff. I'm sure she's had confessionals where she was attacking people. And Survivor, like, if Cass went out, like, let's say next episode, I'm sure we would have gotten like tons of confessionals of Cass being a little evil, even though she is playing nicer.
Yeah. So who is your number 6, bruh?
6 is Savage. I am in the same spot I had in last week.
Still pretty high on your list.
Yeah, still pretty high on my list. If Angkor went to Tribal, why would Savage and Tasha go home? It just doesn't make any sense. For that to happen, Tasha would either have to team up with Wu and Abby, or Savage would have to team up with Wu and Abby.
Yeah.
And why would that happen? Like, why would Wu and Abby? They would have been together for this time, but like, if it happened again, who is Abby going to trust more? Tasha and Savage combined, or like Wu and Tasha, or Wu and Savage? It just doesn't make any sense. I can't see it happening. But
Yeah,
Savage, I can see going home over Tasha.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, like Savage and Tasha are in control. I think just about everyone knows it's probably Abby or Wu if Angkor goes to Tribal, because they both probably hate each other right now because Wu is trying to pledge his loyalty to them, and Abby just makes everyone frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're on number 7, right? Okay, my number 7 is Steven the Nerd. Says everyone's hunting for idols, Fishback.
Okay.
Yeah. He moved up 6 spots from the last episode just because he got a pretty good edit this episode with Jeremy, and just showed that he's in pretty, he's looked at in a good light with Jeremy because Jeremy said that he could use Fishback to get down the road or whatever. So I don't know how, like, if that's just talk of possibility or if that's a part of his strategy. We will definitely see. But with the edit for this episode, it showed that with Bion, it seems more so that Spencer and Kelly Wigglesworth and Spencer are more so on the outside. So it made me want to, I guess, bump up Steven some because I initially thought that he may be lower on the tribe's ranking of safety just because it seemed like Spencer and Jeremy were getting along. But this last episode showed that Steven and Jeremy were also getting along. I don't know to what extent compared to Spencer, but, both partnerships are doing okay with the relationships.
I have Fishback a little higher on my list too, but it's not because I feel like he's getting a better edit or anything like that. It's more so that I think other people in his tribe seem to be on their way out more than he is. Like, but I don't know. You put him in front of Kimmy. Like, I wouldn't have put him in front of Kimmy. I think Kimmy has less of a chance of going home than Fishback does. But yeah, Fishback, he's a little higher up on mine too because other people that I haven't listed yet are potentially in trouble, I feel.
Yeah, like Steven is +6. He moved up 6 spots from the last episode. He was ranked 13th for my last ranking, but he moved up to 7th. So yeah.
Yep. He was ranked 13 for me too. Okay. For 7, I have Cass too. I have Cass. She moved up 3 for me. Last week, I was pretty certain that she wasn't going home, so I had her at 10, which was like dead in the middle. Like, who expected that Cass wouldn't be in too much trouble heading into the season? No one would have predicted that. But here she is on the top 7 of my top 16. Well, of my 16 list. And last week only made me more confident that Cass is here to stay for a pretty good amount of time. Not sure how long, but I think she's getting to the merge. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So, my number 8 is Spencer. He was 5th place in my last week's ranking, but he moved down 3 spots simply because it was made more apparent that he is a little bit more on the outside than we initially thought, because last episode the edit made it look more like, Jeremy may protect Spencer or there's some kind of special friendship, which I definitely think there is a friendship, but it was just more shown that it is more of a Kelly Wigglesworth versus Spencer type deal, because it is a 4-2. It's for let's see, what was the it's 4 people from one of the original tribes and 2 from the other. So yeah, I think Spencer's still probably safe this next episode, but it just makes it a little more iffy since what I mean, since Jeremy was teaming up with Steven looking for the idol, even though Jeremy already had the idol, and Kelly Wigglesworth and Spencer were kind of throwing each other under the bus, I guess. I know Spencer was trying to demean Kelly Wigglesworth a little to try to make himself feel more safe, but yeah.
I don't agree with you entirely, but I'll get to that when I have Spencer on my list. I don't really want to talk about it right now. I'll tell you. I think you're forgetting something important. Okay, number 8, I have Kimmy. Like I said, I think she deserves to be in front of Fishbag. There's no reason to think that she's on her way out. She's barely had an edit. But to be fair, she does look like she's doing stuff in the next episode. In the Next Time on Survivor preview, she was I don't know, I think she was screaming at someone, and she was actually talking for once, so who knows, maybe
Dang, the vegetarian's gotten a little bit of a vertebra now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's that kind of elimination like Alexis from Cagayan, where all of a sudden she's the star of one episode, but that's the episode that she gets thrown out of. That could happen. They just didn't want to show her the entire show, and now they're just trying to cram all her confessionals into one episode to make up the season. That could happen, but I still think that she's ahead of Fishback. Fishback has had more of a negative edit so far than Kimmy, who's had no edit. I think a negative edit is worse than no edit. That's my opinion.
Yeah, a bad edit puts you at the bottom of the list, and a meh edit puts you more in the middle.
Yep.
Okay, so my number 9 is Sierra. I didn't really know where to go with this one because I don't know. I mean, she hasn't had tons of confessionals, I don't think. But she's moved down 2 spots for my list for this episode, mainly just because I had a couple of people leapfrog her. I definitely still think she's safe, and with the Takeo tribe, she is one of the more weaker females. Her and Cass are probably the weaker females. So I don't know. I think Takeo is probably safe from tribal, but she definitely, I don't think is. Yeah, I don't really know, dude. We're at the point of the ranking where it just starts to become a big cluster of people that haven't, had insanely good edits or insanely bad edits, so it gets more difficult to place people.
Yeah, it's really hard to place people in the beginning of the season because some people still haven't even been on the show, basically. Like Sierra and a couple other girls. They've barely been shown at all, so how can we know where to put them if we don't know what they're doing on the island? We don't know what they're up to. What number was that for you?
That was my number 9.
Okay. Okay. So my number 9 is Fishback. Yeah, he's up 4 spots. Not as high up as you have him, but I do agree that he's safer now because other people are less safe. So that's literally the only reason why he's number 9 for me, because compared to other people on his tribe, he looks like he's in a better position.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so my number 10 is Terry Dietz. Yeah, he's +2 from last episode. I can't really remember why I put him at 12th for the last safety ranking, but yeah, I mean, he pulled through big for them in that hero challenge where it was one dude from each of the 3 tribes, and I think that probably helped him some, maybe, with his standing in the tribe, Yeah, and it probably helps Joe some too, actually, because if there's another strong dude in camp, then it helps to take off the target off your back some. But yeah, like Terry's had a pretty decent or a pretty good edit this season. You know, we've shown that he's trying to be more social. Um, but he hasn't really had a great edit when it comes to like how good you're playing. We just know that he is having, you know, some confessionals and stuff, and he's doing decent, but it's hard to place him, you know, really high, really low, just because, you know, we don't know a ton about where everyone stands in the Takeo tribe and like who's on the outs and who's, you know, has the numbers when it comes like if there's an alliance or anything.
Number 10 for me is the Wiggles, not the little kid band, but the person. Yeah, so she moved up +4 for me. Same reason as Fishback. Not because she's doing any better, but because I think other people are doing worse. And that's all. Like, there's not much to say about Wigglesworth. She was active in maybe like the first 2 episodes, and then besides that, she's gone from the show forever.
Yeah, she had some decent showing in the first episode.
Yeah, but like nothing now. I don't know what she's doing, so I can't predict what she's gonna do next. You know, there's nothing. Survivor's not giving me anything. I'm not gonna give anything back. So.
Just gonna put her somewhere around the middle.
Yep.
Okay, so my number 11 is the llama, Keith.
Okay.
Fitting llama. He's moved down 1 spot from the last ranking, simply because I think if Takeo went to tribal, and I don't know, like he's tough. I mean, I think he's having an okay season. There's not tons of confessionals for him, but he's the kind of player where there's not much of a reason to get rid of him this early unless he's not in an alliance or anything. His strategic game is not that good, which could help you this early in the game. I guess, you know, because if you're not a strategic threat early, people aren't going to get rid of you for that reason. You know, he's the weakest male, probably, maybe on his tribe. I don't know. It's probably close between Terry and Keith. Like, I have them
for sure.
I have them really like right next to each other on my list, just because I feel like they're both pretty similar in character. They're both, you know, in their like 50s or whatever. They're physically, you know, decent. They're not, you know, physically like ripped or anything, but they can both get the job done. You know, they're both not the greatest social players, but I think Terry's better than Keith, so yeah, it's kind of a toss-up for Keith. I don't know, man.
I don't understand why you have him so low. I have him at number 5 because if you're getting rid of him, he's in the middle for everything. Listen, he's in the middle for everything. For strengthness, if you're worried about like getting someone out who sucks at challenges, you get out Cass or Sierra, and they're also in the original Bion 4, so you can't make an excuse that Keith is gone because he's in the minority. He's not in the minority. For strategic purposes, he's not strategic. For social game, I mean, I can't see anyone getting out anyone right now because they think, oh, he's friends with everyone. I can't keep him around on this tribe. So why get out Keith? It just doesn't make any sense at this point of the game. Unless like someone plays an idol like Wentworth and like Keith just happens to get like a vote somehow.
You like, spit too much, Keith. I'm voting for you.
Yeah, why would Wentworth vote for Keith? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, yeah, Keith, I can't see him going.
Yeah. Okay, so number 11. Yeah.
11. I'm kind of scared about who I put for this, only because he was in danger last week. But I feel
Wu?
like, yeah, I have Wu. I have. Woo. I moved him up 5 spots from last week. If he got eliminated last week, I would have gotten a point on my on the game, and Will wouldn't have. So I was kind of disappointed. I would have taken the lead there because I had him in my bottom 3, but he didn't. But this week, I feel like he's safe. If someone's gonna leave from Anchor, I think it's gonna be Abby, not Wu. Wu is physically stronger than Abby, so if you're like in a tribe of 4 and you don't see a swap happening anytime soon, you're going to be worried about strength, and you're going to want to keep the strongest people over, the Abbeys. So,
Yeah.
Wu, even though Wu isn't as aligned to Tasha and Savage as Abby is, I still think Wu is safer. And also, you know how even though Varner voted with Tasha and Savage the week before, they still Tasha was still smart enough to vote him out the week after that. She doesn't care if you're aligned with her or not. She cares about keeping the strongest people right now and who's going to stay loyal. So, given those two requirements, I think Tasha is going to favor Wu over Abby, and I think Tasha has the call, not Savage. So even if Savage, which I doubt, prefers Abby over Wu, then I still think Wu is going to stay.
Yeah, so my number My number 12 is Kimmy Kappenberg. She's +3 from my last episode ranking. I simply moved her up because the Wiggles looked to be in trouble because it was a Spencer versus Wiggles kind of situation with who would probably go home if Baum went to Tribal. And plus, I just think she was probably the physically weakest Kimmy Kappenberg on her tribe, so I just ranked her lower because of that. And it was in the beginning portions of the 3-tribe split. And yeah, Kimmy Kappenberg, I think she will probably not go home this episode, though. Bayern goes to Tribal. Yeah, she's kind of one of those people that hasn't really had an amazing edit, but hasn't had a horrible edit either. So it's hard to place her at the top or at the bottom, even though she is more towards the bottom. But I do think if Bayern goes to Tribal, she's safe.
Okay. Yeah, I only had Kimmy a little higher, only because she was so invisible for the entire season so far, and it's possible, but I don't think she's just going to get 10, 20 confessionals in one episode to make up for all her missing confessionals over the season, and then she's out. It's happened before, but I don't think it's going to happen to her. Maybe. That's why I watch, because I don't know.
Yeah.
What are we on? 12?
We're on 12 for you, yeah.
Okay, this person for me, this person fell down 3 spots. I have Sierra. I think that if anyone from the Bion 4 on Takeo is going to get eliminated, it's going to be Sierra. Either because she's the weakest, or it's because... Yeah, that's it. That's literally the only reason. I think it's because she's the weakest on the tribe, physically. And they might keep Wentworth and Dietz, who are physically stronger than her, even though they're on the minority. They might keep him and Wentworth around over Sierra. I mean, if they get rid of Sierra, they still have the majority. It's still 3-2. So they can definitely do that. That can happen. So that's why Sierra's pretty low on my list. I can see her going from Takeo. But she hasn't had that much of an edit. I think she's had 3 confessionals this entire season, so I would be a little shocked if she got voted off. Your turn, Will.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 13 is Kelly Wiggles. Simply because of the surfacing truth that, well, it's not surfacing, it's always been there, but it was just made more apparent this last episode that Spencer and Kelly are probably on the bottom, and they're both vying to win over the rest of the Bion tribe. And I think that since Spencer is closer with Jeremy and maybe Steven, I don't know, that Kelly Wiggles is going to get the bottom or get the shortest part of the short. What am I trying to say? The shortest straw out of the two. She moved down 2 spots from last episode for me. Last episode I had Kimmy lower than Kelly, but this episode I think Kelly has a higher chance of going than Kimmy. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
13, I have Spencer Bledsoe.
So he's in your bottom 3. Okay, so.
No, he's not. He's in my bottom 4.
Oh, no. Oh, he barely escaped the dreadful bottom 3.
Yeah, he escaped my bottom 3. He is down 5 spots from where I had him last week. And this is mostly because of the Monica confessional that Monica said she's probably going to want to target Spencer. If anyone's targeting you, you're probably going to go lower on my list. I don't care who it is. If you have a target on your back by anyone, that could lead to a potential elimination. So, yeah, if you notice though, Spencer is higher than the not mentioned yet Monica. So that's because I believe that Spencer's a little safer than Monica, even though Monica's the one who's attacking Spencer.
Yeah, man. Same. Okay, so.
Wait, what's it on?
Oh, you're not on? Okay, dang it.
I also want to say that Spencer's friends with Jeremy, who's the head of Bion right now. He's also, if it is based on who's in the minority, I think Wigglesworth would go home over Spencer. And then, yeah, that's it. Spencer's strong too. He's well compared to like everyone else in this tribe. He's pretty physically strong, and he's also strong in the brain department too. So, yeah.
Brain department.
That's why. Those are the reasons why he avoided my bottom 3.
Okay, so at the beginning of my bottom 3, at 14th place, I have drumroll Monica from Bion. Yeah, I think we both picked up on this. That it's just a little weird. It's a little suspicious that she really hasn't had many or any confessionals at all. No major plot line going for her, and then all of a sudden they drop the atom bomb that she wants to make a woman's alliance in the last episode. That could be a little parting gift that CBS is giving her. Like when someone doesn't get much of an edit, and then the episode before they're voted off, they're given, like, the audience is given a part of their gameplay just as kind of like a, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of wrong just like vote someone, to get someone eliminated from the game and not give them any confessionals or anything whatsoever.
I completely agree with you. That's why I have Monica lower. Just not next. Is that all you want to say for Monica?
Yeah,
we'll talk about more coming up for me. So.
Okay, she moved down 5 spots from my previous list.
Okay. Dietz, I have as the first person in the bottom 3 for me. Number 14, Terry Dietz. He moved down the most that anyone's moved down for me. That is 17. That is 7 spots, not 17.
Goodness.
Yeah, he's moved down 7 spots. Last week, I would have said, Dietz going home? No way. He's so strong. I know he's on the minority, but he's like, with this 3-tribe format, the strong people cannot get out in the early rounds. It favors strong people so much because
we're in the mid rounds now, boy. We're in the mid rounds now.
Right, we're getting we're getting closer to the merge, so people are starting to care a little less each week about strength. And also, Wentworth has an idol. And also she told other people that Dietz has an idol. So there's just like a whole combination of things that I could see leading to Dietz's elimination. One, Wentworth could play her idol, and Dietz could be the one sent home because of that. The Bion 4 could do a 2-2 split on Dietz and Wentworth. Wentworth plays her idol. Dietz is the one to go home. Makes perfect sense. It could happen if TK goes to Tribal Council. The way I did it, by the way, is my bottom 3. I did, since I really don't know who's going to Tribal Council this week, like last week I had a little better of a hunch because I thought that Anchor almost definitely was going to Tribal. But since the switch is happening at that spot that it is, I think it's less likely that Angkor goes to tribal this tribal council. So it's
Yeah, we're both on the
yeah.
same brain wavelength on that part.
Yeah. So Deets, if it is the 2-2 split, Deets goes home because Wentworth is smart enough to play her idol. She knows that it's going to be a split between the two of them, and
Hopefully.
yeah. Well, the 4 people would be wary of Deets' idol, so they would want to flush it anyway, regardless of Deets having or not having the idol. They want to know we can get rid of it if it's there. So they definitely would flush that, I think, and that would result in him going home because, of course, as we know, he does not have an idol. Another reason Deets might go home is because I could see Wentworth kind of becoming one with this Bion 4. She's already pushing Deets under the bus so much. I can see it continuing this episode. Who knows? Even though Deets is the second strongest in the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Who
We're
knows
starting
what
to
can
get closer
happen.
to the merge, though, so people are starting to, like as you said, start to care less about the strength.
Yeah, right. So that's why I have Deets as, I think, out of the 3 tribes, Takeo is always least likely to go, only because they're so strong, but he's bottom 3 for me. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so my number 15 spot goes to Wu because I think that I think it's almost a toss. No, not a toss up. I think Abby's more likely to go home than Wu if Angkor goes to tribal. But I do think that there's a possibility that Wu could go home simply because Abby does have an allegiance with Tasha, and there's a chance that Tasha and Savage may honor that, and yeah, like I think I just put him down there that low just because I think there's a higher possibility. Like, I don't know, dude, it's complicated, but Abby's definitely most likely to go this next episode, but Wu, I mean, he barely slipped by this past episode. I mean, he had to kiss some people. He had to he had to do a bunch of stuff to try to get out of the bottom.
You have to kiss some people.
And I think
That's what he
may
had to
still be
do.
in trouble. If
Yeah.
Abby starts, I don't know, trying to throw Wu under the bus or trying to bring up that. I don't know. I just think if Angkor goes to tribal, there's like a 100% chance that Abby Maria will vote for Wu, and that's 1 out of 4 votes. And all it would take is for Savage and Tasha to go with her, which I don't know.
According to Will had to kiss some people to not get voted off. He just kissed everyone. Like he kissed Tasha, Savage. It was just like a kissing party. Right.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to kiss everyone because Abby and Wu know they're probably on the bottom.
Okay. My second to last person on my list, number 15. Oh, by the way, I said how much Deets got down. Never mind. Monica is my second to last person on my list. She went down 4 spots on my list. I was kind of scared about her last week, but there was no evidence to be. Now there is evidence. She is attacking people, like we've said before, after not having any edits. Why do I hear
That's
my
a red
echo?
flag. That's a massive red flag.
Yeah, it's a huge red flag. If you see someone suddenly explaining to you their strategy after not talking about strategy
After
for any
4
episode
freaking
whatsoever,
episodes,
yeah, for any episodes whatsoever, what? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That is not gonna happen.
You're not fooling us, CBS.
Yeah, that's like a key red flag that you're probably gonna be the one going this episode or the next episode. So yeah, Monica, I don't see bright things in her future. Who knows? Maybe this is the start of a real all-women's alliance. Who knows? It could happen.
God, no. Please, God, no.
Another one.
No. The last time I saw it, it was
I don't think
horrible. So. It was Kim Spradlin controlling everybody, and it was just not fun.
But yeah, well, I don't think that would happen for this season. That's not why I wouldn't want a all women's alliance. I don't think Monica's going to be able to control Tasha.
She's not old enough to be able to do that.
And yeah, she's just not as mature and as manipulative as Spradlin was. So yeah, Monica, like it would have been okay for me if maybe there was some mention about your strategy earlier in the game, and it was like leading up to this. Oh, I'm gonna get Spencer out. That's gonna be like the first step to like my diabolical plan. But since you have no confessionals, and then this just popped up out of nowhere that you just want to get someone out, it's like leading up to a blindside. I can see it coming, definitely. She goes around saying, guys, let's get Spencer out. Spencer overhears, then he gets, Monica out. It's going to happen. Maybe not this episode, but definitely very soon. You want to say your bottom person?
Oh, we both know who it is. We both know who the bottom person is. Abby Maria.
Yep.
The wild Brazilian. Okay, so this one's very, very self-explanatory. For the second straight week, Danny and I have the same person at the very bottom.
We do.
Abby Maria.
We're very consistent at that.
I know. Dude, next week is going to be so difficult because if Abby Maria goes this next episode, it'd be hard to put anyone at the very, very bottom just because there's no person that's pissing everyone off. So, I mean.
But if Abby Maria doesn't go, we're still going to have her on the bottom of our list, probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
there's not much of a reason to talk about why. Everyone knows why. Even if you're a fan of Abby Maria, you know why. She aggravates everybody. It eggs on 24/7 about how Wu has voted for her 3 times now.
No, only 2. You didn't vote for her this time.
Well, yeah. 2 times now. And it's probably, there's no doubt that Tasha and Savage are fed up with it. And plus, they don't know when there's going to be a switch, if any, so they would rather keep Wu than Abby Maria, who just likes to sit out of challenges, etc.
By the way, we're going to talk more about Abby Maria a little bit, but if you're watching, please leave a comment so we have a little more to talk about at the end of this video.
Yeah, there's one person watching the live stream.
No, there's 2 people watching right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you guys for giving us 1,000 views on our episode 3 spin down. Yeah.
Episode 4 spin down. It was out there. It's just that it really didn't pop up on YouTube at all. Like I even tried searching for it and I could barely find it. So like it barely has any views whatsoever.
Yeah, episode 3 was like the third, the third on the list when you search like for Survivor episode 4 review. Like ours was like near the top of the list.
Yeah, it was very high on the list. Like it was right below RHAP. And then episode 4. Episode 4. Just nowhere to be found. It's like not even like it's not popular enough. It's just like not even like on the search engine. I couldn't even find it at all. So I don't know what happened with that. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if you have been watching us for, I think this is like the 2.5 week we've been doing this, you can tell that our video quality problems are gone. I finally replaced my webcam.
My lighting is so awful though.
Yeah, you have to fix that. Get lighting.
Well, I have the lights on up there, and there's a room back there. The main problem is there's I don't know, because there's lights on, but I don't know if it's the screen or something, because my face just looks super, super dark.
Well, yeah, so to continue a little more on Abby Maria, I didn't really get to talk about her that much. Abby Maria, she is, like you said, she's not as strong as you. I think if I was Tasha or Savage, I would be very scared about going into a tribe of 3 people. That being Tasha, Savage, and Abby. If you vote out Wu the next episode. So I can see them voting out Wu. I think that Tasha feels that she's safe with Wu. I think even Savage feels that even though he might be a little concerned about the Cagayan 4, I think he'll be a little okay with Wu too over Abby Maria, who he might have seen over these past few days to be a little bit of a disaster. and like a little hard to control. So even though I think that Anchor isn't going to tribal for the reasons that we've explained through this video, I have to put her down there on the last person on my list just for safety, because I feel like she has been given the most evidence for why she's leaving soon. If it's not this episode, I can't see it not being the next episode after that. You know, because the next episode after that, you can finally have an Anchor boot. What was that?
Oh, it's my mom dropping a bottle on the floor.
Oh.
Is that better? The lighting?
Yeah, it looks better.
Nice, mate.
We could get this one to come home and be in business.
Okay, so I do think though that if Abby Maria can make the merge, she could make it deep if people do not get too annoyed with her.
Oh yeah, if Abby Maria makes the merge, she's going until like at least 7th place, because you have to wait for all those strong people to get voted off first. Like there's gonna be a whole like you know,
assassination of
flock. A whole flock of strong people getting eliminated one by one. And then after that, once all that craziness is done, they're gonna be like, okay, who are the annoying people or the people I can't trust that I have to get out next? And that'll probably be the Abbies, and I don't really know who else is untrustworthy, because Cass hasn't really shown any untrustworthy quality so far. So yeah, it would be Abby.
Yeah, Abby's the #1 person to take to the final 3 right now, if you had to choose anyone. But it's
hard to get her all the way to the 3 without, like, you know, killing yourself. And
that's what I was about to say. I was about to say that she is like a fragile little grenade that could just blow up in your face. If it works out well, you know, dang, dude, you have a great chance of winning the game. But if it doesn't, it could all blow up in your face, and you could go out at 7th or something like that.
If you want someone easy to beat, you don't want to take Abby. You want to take someone like Keith or Kimmy or Woo. There are people who are bad at the game that you can control better. Why would you want Abby, who's always paranoid and all over the place and like deciding to switch and stuff? Don't get me wrong, I love Abby and I love to see her on TV. I just don't think I would align with her.
I do not love Abby. I love the chaos that she creates for television.
Yeah, everyone says you don't like Abby. Come on, let's be honest. If she wasn't on the show right now, it would be very boring. Let's be honest.
But we don't love her. We just love the chaos she creates.
Right. So that's it for this episode. Catch us at 9:30, 30 minutes after Survivor Second Chance Episode 5 premieres. We'll be going down everything that happened that episode, doing spin down. We also, this week we didn't have our players analysis, where we get 2 players and we analyze them. We're both very busy. We actually do have lives, believe it or not.
You said you did not
I lied. I actually do have lives. I just like to pretend that I'm a complete loser for some reason. But yeah, I actually do have a life. Despite.
Okay, so to recap, if Terry Dietz gets eliminated, then Danny has the advantage on me with the points 3-1. But if Monica, Woo, or Abby go home, then we are both the same. We will both have either 3 or 4 points equal.
Monica, Woo, or Abby?
No. If Woo goes home, then I have 3-2 advantage over you. But if Monica or Abby go home, then we're both tied. Or if
really? I didn't even know you had Woo in your bottom 3.
Yeah, I did.
Where the heck was I? Okay. I thought you had, like, I don't even know who I thought you had in your bottom 3. Whatever.
Yeah, he moved on 1 spot. He was at the top of the bottom 3 last episode, and this time he's like next to last, next to Abby Maria. I
had him there originally at that spot, but then I'm like, if someone's going home from Anchor, it's gonna be Abby. I don't think it's gonna be anyone else, so I moved him up a little.
Yeah.
So yeah, player analysis. We didn't get to do that last week, but give us suggestions on who you want us to talk about a lot more than we usually do, and that's 2 players. Give us recommendations down below. We do that on Saturday. We didn't do it this week because again we were busy. But yeah,
We
do
have
that.
lives.
We do this on Monday, and then we do recaps on Wednesday after the show ends. So even if you're not watching this live, please leave us comments so we can talk about more stuff because
Because we love Survivor, man.
yeah, we just like talking and about Survivor and stuff. So
Bye, guys.
anything else? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,